My name is Author Vincent Nwankpa, author of mathematics and accounting for over 3 decades. I want to throw more light on a topic called fractions. Fractions. A fraction is numerator over denominator. When you talk about fraction, what comes to mind is a basic rule in solving problems relating to fractions. And that basic rule includes board mass, or what I term board MSA, or penned mass, which is also similar. Which I call pen mass. Board mass spells at B O D M S A. That's board MSA. But board mass is spelled, or is in this form, B O D M A X. The B stands for brackets. That means whatsoever is in the bracket must be solved first before the other ones that are not in the bracket. If it's in the bracket, you solve that first. The one that is not in the bracket, you solve later and join it with the one in the bracket, and you get to the final answer. So B means bracket. O means order. O-R-D-E-R. Not off, as we have been told when we are younger than this. O means order. And that order simply means exponent, or what we call power, or what we call indices. That is the meaning of order. After the O comes D. D means division. After the D comes M. M means multiplication. After the M comes A, which is addition. While the last one there is S, which means subtraction. What I describe as board MSA is simply changing the board mass, the last 2 letters, A and X, interchanging it, bringing the X first and then the A last. What I did in that form is to let some students understand that in board mass, addition and subtraction, any of the 2 operations could come first. You can add and later subtract. You can subtract and later add. You can see that good example in a question like 3 minus 2 plus 1. 3 whole number minus 2 whole number plus 1 can be solved the way it is. It could be 3 minus 2 plus 1, and the result will be 2 whole number. Or it could be 3 plus 1 minus 2, which will come out to be 4 minus 2, and the result is equally 2. So with this, I'm simply letting you know that in fraction, as far as board mass rules are concerned, the rules, whether pen mass or board mass or board MSA, what that rule simply tells us is that in solving problem relating to fraction, you can subtract and later add. You can add and later subtract. It will be wrong for you to say or to apply this kind of question this way. 3 minus 2 plus 1. And in your process of applying board mass, you now say, I need to add before I subtract. And in that idea, because you have seen the question, 3 minus 2 plus 1, you now say, board mass says I should add first before subtracting. And you wrongly add 2 to 1 to give you 3. At the end of the day, you now have 3 minus 3 to give you 0. That simply means that 3 minus 2 plus 1, you provided 0 as the answer. And that is wrong, because you do not know that in board mass, the AS can also be SA in your application of solving problems relating to fraction. So it is clear that 3 whole number, and remember that a whole number is also a fraction. 3 whole number simply means 3 over 1. And fraction is always numerator over denominator. Whole numbers are all over 1. So 3 minus 2 plus 1 is the same thing as 3 minus 2, which is 1, and 1 plus the 1, which is 2. Or, like I've earlier stated, 3 plus 1 is 4. And 4 minus 2 is what? 1. So that is the application of what? Board mass. Remember, that last two operations, addition and subtraction, can be used interchangeably. That means subtraction can start first while addition can end, or addition can start while subtraction will end. Another thing to point out, we have different types of fractions. We have proper fraction. Proper fraction simply means that type of fraction where the denominator is more than the numerator, or otherwise, where the numerator is less than the denominator. That type of fraction is called proper fraction. Examples of proper fractions are 3 over 4, 1 over 4, 2 over 5, 3 over 5, and so on. Another type of fraction we need to understand, especially for those in primary school, where they set question for them on types of fraction, or where they set question for them to distinguish between proper fraction, improper fraction, and other fractions. They need to understand that a proper fraction are numbers where the denominator is higher than the numerator, or where the numerator is lower than the denominator. And I have given an example that proper fraction examples includes 5 over 6, 7 over 8, 3 over 4, 1 over 6, 1 over 7, and so on. The second example is called improper fraction. Remember, in a secondary school examination, WAEC or NECO, or other exams, SATs or what have you, nobody will ask you a question on definition of types of fraction. But one cannot be studying fraction and he does not understand types of what? Fraction. Improper fraction is the opposite of proper. Improper fraction are that type of fraction where the numerator is higher or greater than the denominator. Or in another definition, where the denominator is less than the numerator. Examples of such fractions are 7 over 5, 8 over 5, 7 over 2, 9 over 5. These are examples of improper fraction. Another type of fraction we need to understand is what we call mixed fraction. Mixed fraction. A fraction is mixed fraction when you have combination of whole numbers and proper fraction. Examples of mixed fraction are one whole number 1/2, which is 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 3 whole number 1/4, 3/4, 3 whole number 1/4, 1/4, 7 whole number 2/3, 5 whole number 2/5, and so on. Another type of fraction is what we call whole number. Whole numbers are equally fraction, which means we are referring to fractions where the denominator is permanently one whole number. That is, whole numbers are 1, and 1 means 1/1. 2 means 2/1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, and so on. But you need to understand that whole numbers are that type of fraction where the denominator are permanently 1. To throw more light again on how some of us multiply mixed fraction. For instance, 1.5 is an example of mixed fraction. And 1.5 is not equal to 1 times half. 1 times half means half. But mixed fraction should always be done in this way. This is the interpretation of mixed fraction. 1.5 simply means one whole number plus half, not one whole number times half. 1.5 means 1 plus half. And remember that 1 means 1/1 plus 1/2. When you find the LCM, which is the lowest common multiple, you will solve and you will arrive at 3/2, which is equivalent to 1.5. But 1.5 is not equal to 1 times half. 2.5 is not equal to 2 times half. On that note, if you want to ask more questions, you can call the author of Mathematics and Accounting, Author Vincent Nwankpa, MSc Mathematical Statistics, MSc Finance, all from University of Lagos, PhD in view. For more inquiries, for more lectures online, for more lectures on site, you can call my line or my WhatsApp number as well. The phone number is 080 33 35 1748. My number again, 080 33 35 1748. You can call me, you can chat me, you can also chat me on WhatsApp, and your life will never remain the same. Students from SS1 to postgraduate students are those I lecture. As an author of both mathematics and accounting, I lecture mathematics, further maths, statistics, accounting, financial accounting, and finance for my postgraduate students. Based on what I've done, more questions, all inquiries, call Author Saint Vinn on that number I called, 080 333 51 748. God bless you. See you next time.